Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video I'm going to review a 4K that I watched last night. It's the latest Halloween movie and it's called Halloween Kills. Now doubtless many of you have may have already seen this movie on the pictures and that, or even watched it on the 4K or Blu-ray. So I'm just going to give my thoughts on the movie, just talk a little bit about the background of it, and then I'll give my opinion of it as a whole. Okay, so Halloween Kills is a direct sequel to the 2018 Halloween, which completely ignored all the other movies that followed on from Halloween 78. This basically leaves off from where Jamie Lee Curtis had a final confrontation in the first movie with Michael Myers and that. She set all traps in the house and the house ended up going up in flames. Now this carries on from the end of that movie. We see Laurie Strode getting rushed to hospital with severe injuries after a fight with Michael, and Michael's in the inferno and that, and he's actually rescued by the fire. I won't go on too much about the movie if you haven't seen it, but basically Michael's rescued by the fire crew, who he basically repays. He expresses his gratitude by wiping them all out. Yeah, okay, so that's how the movie starts off, and then we get these flashbacks to the 1978 Halloween movie. We had a couple of extra incidents what happened on that particular night when Dr. Loomis confronted Michael and shot him in the chest. We get that sort of like thrown in as well, peppered in and that. I thought that was pretty well done, but yeah, but on the whole guys, well, I'm just going to tell you now exactly what I thought of it. Yeah, well, I did not to be cut a long story short, I did not care for this movie too much at all. I didn't like the fact that Laurie Strode was sort of like pushed to the side, and she was sort of like in hospital. She was basically just talking all the time in the hospital, and I didn't like this thing what they done, this about the mob and that. You know, they had this like mob mentality. They were all sort of like ganged up, and they were gonna sort of like get Michael hunting down and that. And they had this like mantra. They had this mantra, evil dies tonight, and this was repeated all through the movie by different people. I thought that was a bit corny and ineffective, and I don't think it had any place in the movie at all. And there's a lot of silly mistakes in this movie as well, you know, dumb decisions and that. For instance, when some of the people confronted Michael, they seem to adopt this sort of like Rambo Terminator stance and that tough guy or tough girl stance, when in actual fact you'd be petrified out of your skin. So I didn't like that. It wasn't very scary, and there was a lot of ridiculous things in it. I've got some notes here because I wanted to cover everything basically. Yeah, I thought the vignettes segments as well, with the two gay blokes, that was ridiculous, and it was ruined by the comedic aspect. Again, like when one of the gay guys is killed by Michael, his partner comes into the room and he sees his partner butchered and Michael standing there. And what does he do? He doesn't run out in terror. He says, "Michael, you've come home." I mean, oh, come on, guys. You know, this is supposed to be a horror movie, and you know, I think it was a little bit of a parody myself, to be honest with you. I thought What's the Name was bad. I thought the Rob Zombie Halloween 2 was bad, and I thought the Halloween where he was in the Big Brother house, Halloween Resurrection, I think it was called. Thought that was bad, and I thought Halloween 3 was bad. This is even worse, guys. Yeah. It's a shame, really, because I wanted to like this movie very much, but I didn't really care for any of the characters either. I thought they were very shallow. I thought they were very wooden. There was no tension. There was no proper atmosphere. And the only good thing I'll give it a couple of points for is the way they done the retrospective at the beginning, because it was very good, the cinematography, the way they recaptured that grainy look of the 78 movie. You know, I thought that was very, very well done, and to watch it you would think that was actually shot in 1978. In regard to bringing back Donald Pleasence's Loomis character briefly, I'm not too sure about that. I mean, the man's dead. You know, so why really bring him back? And I don't know. I haven't really read up too much about how they done this, so I don't know whether it was like a hologram kind of thing, or they got an actor who was a spitting image of him. So I'll look it up on the internet. But in the meantime, guys, if you can throw some light on that, yeah. But I'll look it up on the internet anyway, yeah. So I was a bit doubtful about that, you know, and I just didn't. It was very, very disappointing, guys. It really was, yeah. Another thing I didn't like about it was when Laurie Strode's first rushed to hospital. We see it when she's undergoing the operation. We see her in, it's open and that, and we see the operation in detail. I mean, was there really any need to put that in? You know, what were they going for? They were going for some sort of a medical gore show, medical gore fest here. I mean, I didn't get that, why they should show it at innards open and that, you know, and the doctor's operating. I thought that stuck out like a sore thumb. Another thing I didn't like about it, guys, was slow motion when Michael was doing his kills. I mean, granted, he did kill quite a few people in this movie. It was like a sort of like, it was like a monstrous tiger tank, just sort of like wading through, killing person after person after person after person. But, you know, I didn't really find it, again, even though he killed a lot of people, I didn't really find it all that horrifying, all that scary. You know, I didn't like the slow motion. I didn't like the slow motion scenes in it. You know, I'm not a great fan of slow motion in horror movies where they sort of like, they're raising a knife and they're going. I mean, you know, I mean, it's just boring. I mean, and when they're running as well, you look as if they're running through treacle. You know, when the sort of like the villain, the monsters after them there. Reminds me of the slow motion sequences they used to do with the $6 Million Man, Steve Austin, when he's shown sometimes in slow motion. Yeah, I'm not a great fan of slow motion, guys. Yeah, but yeah, I didn't like this movie at all. I thought it was very poor, and I so much wanted to like it as well. You know, because as you know, I'm a huge fan of the Halloween franchise. But I was so looking forward to watching this. But mind you, I had heard quite a few bad things about it. So I wasn't going in, you know, with my hopes raised high. So I was mindful of that, you know. So I went in with an open mind, and yeah, boy, was that, you know, it was disappointing, guys. I have to say, yeah, this edition. I mean, even I didn't like the dark scenes either. I mean, I bought the 4K. I paid 24.99 for the 4K in Chester, and I was expecting it, like, you know, to really show the brilliance of the 4K. All dark scenes, guys. I might as well have got the DVD or Blu-ray. There was too many dark scenes in it. I didn't like the supporting characters either. I didn't like the, you know, the ones that were going after Michael and that. They all seemed to be like showing off this sort of like unrealistic bravado. You know, we're going to hunt him down. We're going to hunt him down. You know, evil dies tonight and all that. I didn't get it, guys. I didn't, you know. It was one of the worst Halloween movies I've ever seen in my life. It really was. I hate it. I hated the mob mentality. You know, what were they trying to do here? Were they trying to convey some sort of message about mob rule in that way? When anybody in a town gets upset by a killer, they're all sort of like, they're going to a mob. Was that what they were trying to achieve? Well, they did. They fell flat on their faces, guys. I tell you now. It just didn't work. I didn't like the scene near the beginning as well, where the guy gets up in the nightclub and he starts doing this sort of like retrospective thing about I was that man, I was that boy and all that. Oh, you know, could have done without all that. It was ridiculous and that. You know, as far I've said this before and I've said it again, nothing can compare to the first Halloween movie in my opinion. Now I know a lot of people disagree with me and they said you like this movie and that. I'm not saying you've got no taste in that. This is just my opinion, and I know it's an opinion that's shared by a lot of Halloween fans. The very first Halloween was the best one. You didn't know nothing about him. It was creepy. It was more atmospheric because you saw him in the daylight as well. You saw all the autumn leaves and that. You're seeing Laurie Strode on the pavement with her mates and that, you know, and you're seeing him in the car and that. And he was really creepy in that movie, in the part where Dr. Loomis goes into the mental asylum and he breaks out and he grabs the nurse. I mean, even she was included in this one. This is the nurse that survived the Myers attack 40 years ago. You know, yeah, the first one, and Halloween 2, where he goes to the hospital. That was they were two. I mean, they could have been one big movie in themselves and that, yeah. But I'm afraid, like, if they're going to make another one, I believe, a third one, but I'm afraid if it's going to be as bad as this, I think I will pass on it. This was just awful. As I say, Jamie Lee Curtis, she was hardly in it really. She was sitting in the hospital bed, you know, sort of like talking to this guy and that, you know, and you know, oh, I think she was out of place in it, guys. Like the role they gave her and that, you know, they could have given her a bit more, like some of the other Halloween movies. They could have made it, could have put her a bit more up front, you know, with her arch enemy Michael Myers and that. But she was just in there. She was like a walk-on part, really, you know. But yeah, so I won't be keeping this in my collection, you know. It's going. I've actually sold it. I've actually sold it already. Believe it or not, on eBay. I put it on last night. I've already sold it for 20 quid. Yeah. So somebody likes it, guys. Yeah, yeah. But again, I know a lot of you do like it. But then again, I know a lot of people hate it. Yeah. But it's a nice edition. Like, it's got a nice slipcover and that. But I'm glad to have got rid of it, guys. To be honest with you. And I would have liked to have kept it in my collection. You know, because as I say, I love Halloween and that. But it just didn't do for me, guys. This. It was a complete mess from start to finish, if I'm honest with you. Myers, I mean, something about Myers as well. He wasn't really frightening in this one. I know he had the mask, you know, showing the burns and that, but you know, he was. And you didn't really see all that much of him, really. All right, he'd done a lot of kills, but you didn't really see him. You know, you didn't really see him all that much of him, really. You know, and I say I hated the slow motion, and I hated this trend now of the having horror films where you get these minor characters as well as the main protagonist, displaying this sort of like bravado, the fear of nothing and that, you know, in the face of a monster like Myers and that. I mean, they're not even, to be quite honest, they're not even quaking in their shoes. Come on, do you want it? Come on. Oh no, ridiculous. I don't, you know, I don't like those kind of horror films where they sort of like show this unrealistic bravado and that. All right, I know you've got to have a couple of fight scenes in a movie, but sometimes you take it a bit to a ridiculous extent, guys. You know, yeah. Yeah, and it was very, very disappointing, guys, yeah, and I needless to say, I won't be revisiting it because I've sold it anyway, yeah. Okay, now, so onto a rating now, onto a rating of 1 out of 10. I'm going to give this, what, I think I give it 3 out of 10, and it's only got the points, really, because of the way they done the opening, flashing back to 1978. I thought the camera work was very, very good, yeah, but I hated This Evil Dies Tonight. I absolutely hated that. You know, it was a stupid mantra. And it ruined the series for me. And to be quite honest with you, I thought Halloween 2018, it wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a great movie. This was even worse, guys. I'm telling you, it was awful. It wasn't. This is just my opinion. You know, I'm not knocking yous that like it. You know, this is just my opinion, and this is what makes movie discussion good. We all have our own different opinions about movies and that, but this, it was a complete car crash. It was a mess from start to finish. The story was bad. The characters were dull. They were boring. They sometimes downright irritating as well. Yeah, you know, I didn't like that part as well where they had the trick-or-treaters knocking on the door and they pretended to. I think it was the gay men. They knocked on the door and they pretended that one of their mates had swallowed a razor blade and that, whilst one of them sneaks into the house and that. You know, I thought that was a bit ridiculous and that. Yeah. They put a bit of comedy in it and that. I think this is going down the lines of Freddy Krueger. Maybe not to the full extent, but I think it's in danger of parodying itself and going down the lines of the Freddy Krueger, because they went right down, you know. The only really good ones for me were the first 3, and even the third one had started to show signs of that annoying comedic wisecracking narrative. Yeah. Okay, guys, well, I've said enough about this movie. Yeah, very disappointed with it. Wish it could have been better. And it's not a patch on the original Halloween 1 and 2, you know. So that's it, yeah. Okay, if you've seen this movie, it'd be very interesting to hear what you thought of it. Yeah, but yeah, I thought it was ridiculous and that, you know, very disappointing. And I'm glad I've got rid of it. Yeah. Okay, guys, that's it. Yeah, stay safe. Talk to you all again soon. Thank you.